Hey there, guys, and welcome to Friday Facts discussion number 330, main menu and file shenanigans, and I'm here with Bombug again.
Hello, everyone. Ready for some shenanigans today, X?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just today. We're usually shenaniganing.
I think that's the verb, yeah.
Yeah, shenanigans.
Shenanigizing. Yeah,
Shenanigizing, maybe that's better.
yeah.
Um, so, some cool stuff. Main menu rework. By Twinton. Up until I looked at the source code, I was always confused about the differences between start campaign, new game, and scenarios. New game seems like the same thing as scenarios free play, but are there any differences? We then later added a few more bonus scenarios, but they are hidden in the scenarios menu with no explanation about what each is, what to expect, or if it works in multiplayer. I believe it's very important to communicate to new players. Information about the game's content is also important to show that free play is the intended way to play. So all this prompted me to rework the main menu a bit. I started with the structure. Structure always seemed odd to me compared to what I'm used to from other games. Important options like load game are lost among options that are never used, like replay game. So I came up with a new structure. It looks like this. So again, to clarify, this is the new structure. It's not obviously implemented in the main branch yet, but we have a continue button, single player with the current, normal options, multiplayer with all the normal options, map editor, settings, mods, about. So this is much better. I think much more intuitive. Like it always was kind of weird that about is not at the bottom right now, like in the way the current thing is. I think it's like in the middle or something, or maybe it's near the bottom, but it's kind of in a weird place. And it's just
Yeah, I'm
kind of
not
a
even
weird
seeing
layout.
it here. I'm real confused, man, with the current menu. I don't even know what replay game does still to this day. So,
I don't really know. I think it's just like watching a replay, kind of. I don't really know either, to
yeah.
be honest. But what are your thoughts on this new layout?
Very good. I like it a lot. I think they've got a good space for mods and for user scenarios, which is going to become hopefully a bigger thing in the future. As much as people are digging Factorio now and adding really cool things, I mean, you can see they've got Industrial Revolution and space platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Compilatron birthday party. I didn't know that was a thing, but there it is.
Down there. Oh yeah, if we look here, going a little bit ahead, but
Yeah, yeah. So I think this is real good.
teasers.
It makes a lot more sense than the current setup, which is like you start the game and you just want to continue, but you have to go like load game. And yeah, other games give it to you with a push of a single button. And gosh dang it, I'm a millennial. I don't have patience. Get me into the game, right? One button. I want to click one button in Amazon and buy something, as well
Yes,
as load into Factorio. You know.
exactly like that. Um, Now, one thing here, a little sneaky. I see what they're doing here. As if people didn't have enough problems already stopping play the game, these sick people have not added an exit button. So,
Hmm.
once you're in the game, you can't leave.
I
You
mean, is
just
that
gotta
any
keep
different from
playing.
normal? That's pretty much normal, right?
It's pretty normal, but I mean, at least there's like an option if you actually happen to make it to the menu after, like during your play. Maybe you like accidentally exit out of your save and you're back in the menu. There's like a little option, like, currently there's exit and maybe your hand will twitch and you'll hit it, but now there's not even an option. You just gotta full on Alt F4 out of the game, man,
Hmm.
if you want to
I
quit.
think they should probably rebind Alt F4 while you've got the game focused, so that just doesn't happen.
So it just
Because
doesn't
it's really
happen.
frustrating, right? When you accidentally Alt F4 and then the game closes and you're like, I didn't want to stop playing. What's up?
Yeah, I mean, like, sure, I missed two meals already, and and I'm 2 hours late for work, but I really didn't want to stop playing anyway.
Yep. Factory must grow, not your weight. This is a good thing.
Yes. So, yeah. Moving to this next session, which we kind of looked at briefly. So basically, what we just talked about, continue button, which is really nice. Since start the game, continue my last save is probably the most common thing players will do. It makes sense that there's an option for this right at the top menu. The button will contain the name of your latest save, which is nice. Pressing it will immediately load the game, get you in-game. Due to implementation complications, for now, it only handles save games and will not connect you to the last server you played on if your last play session was multiplayer, but I might implement that if it's highly requested. I'm guessing it will be. I read through the forums. It seems very highly requested. I also would request this. And as a additional caveat to this, I think while they're in the process of making things cleaner and nicer with menus and all that, it would be really, really nice if we had a way to like save, or maybe we do. Am I just dumb? I'm probably just dumb. I think there's a way, but to have a way to like save, like multiple servers that you join, like save the like the login and the password and stuff. Because like
That'd be nice.
now, if you switch servers, you have to like put in. But like I mean, if you're looking through the server browser, you don't. But if you're like using Direct Connect, like I do, or whatever, to multiple servers, you have to like put in the IP for like every time you switch, right? Because when you switch, it clears the IP. And then you gotta like put in the password or whatever for each one. It'd be cool if you could just kind of like, just save it like in your own list or something.
Yeah, that'd be real good.
Yeah.
I don't see a favorite button right now, so I could be dumb as well. Let's be dumb together.
Yeah.
Hopefully someone will correct us in the comments,
I mean, that's usually how it goes. We're usually dumb together when we're doing stuff. But yeah, so that would be nice. But then next, everything was grouped into either single player or multiplayer. There are much fewer options since replay game was moved as a small button in load game, and every way to start playing the game. Every way to start playing the game was moved to the new game GUI. New game GUI shows all the ways to play the game. It also groups them nicely, places free play on top, shows a description, even a nice image. This GUI is used for new game multiplayer hosting, map editor, thus simplifying the menu quite a bit. So as you can see here, we have main game, introduction, free play, and then we have game scenarios, obviously the scenarios, mod scenarios, which are scenarios that are introduced by mods, and then user scenarios and stuff like that. So pretty cool. I think it's just because I'm used to the menu layout we've been using, but it's a little confusing to have this be like, I don't know how to put this. This is like organized basically in the way that like your save games are organized when you go to load a game. And I'm just not used to it being like actual sets of menus on this left side. But I think that's just because I'm not used to it. I think it'll probably be fine.
Yeah, I feel like this kind of setup is used in a decent amount of games, so I don't think it'll be too uncomfortable for players to jump into or to get used to.
Yeah. And it's really nice that it shows you like some pictures, a brief description, because like currently it doesn't really tell you. Like when you go to I mean, obviously people know what multiplayer is, but like if you go to multiplayer and like some options, you go to game scenarios, it doesn't really give you much information. And you just have to like kind of guess. Like, oh well, I mean like a game scenario, like PvP. This actually tells you what it is. I don't think currently it really does that very well. So
Yeah,
that's a
it
nice
doesn't.
addition.
You have to go like scenarios, PvP, and then just start creating. And what does PvP mean? Who knows?
Yeah. And then lastly, modded scenarios can now contain a description.json file on the folder order. Determines the sorting in the new game GUI. Multiplayer compatible determines whether the scenario is shown when trying to host multiplayer games. Multiplayer compatible is added to description, JSON file, and so on and so forth. So pretty cool new menu stuff. Really nice. Definitely more intuitive for sure.
Yeah, I'm digging it. I think that they're making just a ton of really nice user improvements that they've probably been sitting on for a while, being like, okay, we got to get some more features out before we can prettify things. And now that they're coming to the close, we get more time to see it.
Yeah,
See
exactly.
the visual improvements and the quality of life improvements.
Yeah, which is really nice. So this next section, I'm going to summarize like real quick. I think it's pretty straightforward. Basically, currently how it is, if you have, so there's another thing Twinsen fixed in addition to menus, but so basically you change how logging in works. Basically, currently, like if you have, even if you have the Steam version, in order to like, um, I think do multiplayer and stuff, you have to log in through like a user that you created on the Factorio website, which is kind of annoying, kind of a pain. So basically, what he's done is made it so that for the Steam version of the game, when you try to use any online feature, the game will try to authenticate using Steam instead. So if you have an account, and that account is linked to your Steam account, you'll be automatically logged in without having to remember your password, which is nice. If you don't have an account, the game will ask you to choose a username, your nickname in multiplayer games, and then log you in. No password, email, or email confirmation required. We call these mini accounts. So the mini accounts can be upgraded to normal accounts by going on the website, logging in using Steam, then adding an email password. They can be used for non-Steam version of the game. So basically, it just simplifies the process. You don't have to like really remember a password and have like a separate account for the website, like that you made through the website in addition to your Steam account type of deal. So it just kind of simplifies the whole process of using online features.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people, when they start a game, they will often do it with friends. And when you just get a new game, you want to immediately jump in with friends, and you have to go do an hour-long tutorial, and then you have to set up a multiplayer account on the company's website, and then get back in, find out how to set up a server. It's kind of a pain. So anything they can do to simplify that process is pretty awesome. One thing I am concerned about is that the multiplayer account creation stuff kind of funnels people into their website, and they may not have that as much anymore, right? And
That's
so you
true.
won't be able to see, oh, hey, there's a mod section, and oh, hey, there's this forums, and it's really big. Oh, hey, there's merch, you know?
That's a very good point, actually. Yeah, is it doesn't funnel people in as much.
We did just see an issue with Facebook where they had a lot of entertainment sources like College Humor going over and putting their content on Facebook primarily, hoping that it would funnel users into their site. But Facebook was fudging the numbers, so it looked like you were getting anywhere from 150% up to 900% more views than you actually were getting. So these companies became really, really Facebook focused, and then had that pulled out from under them when they realized, hey, nobody's actually visiting our site anymore. So I'm kind of worried that, you know, maybe Steam is cutting into this a little bit, not like intentionally, not actually trying to do anything bad, but like they've got a lot of good content on the Factorio site. So hopefully people keep going there.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe maybe they can find some way. I know the menu, like they just cleaned it up, but maybe somewhere like under about, or even a separate menu, like just either above or below about, they could have like a forums button or something that like brings you to the website, or like a website button or something like that. So it doesn't.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, it
A
doesn't.
lot of
Like,
games have that sort of news feed at like the top left or top right, and then the menu in the middle or on the left, you know?
That's a good point. Yeah, they could do like kind of a news feed and have like the Friday facts and maybe some latest forum topics or something.
Yep. You
Just
know,
pull people in.
when Overwatch came out and on the launcher, they had, you know, their featured Twitch streamer, or here's some cool YouTube content. And that's how people like Moon Moon got big, right? Or got a big spike. You know, he earned his way too, but get a big boost of views, and the community really enjoys that content, right? I mean, we see how many people are reading the blog already.
Yeah.
Even some more.
Exactly. That is a fantastic idea. Listen up, devs. But yeah, no, that's a really excellent point I hadn't initially considered about the multiplayer account creation thing. So hopefully they figure something out. But as I said, these changes are ready to be released, so you should see them as soon as we release 018, soon TM. So maybe like 5 months.
At least it's not like a Blizzard TM, you know? Soon TM.
It's almost a Blizzard TM.
Yeah.
Usually their soon TMs are about that.
They're trying.
They're trying. Anyway, last section. I'm gonna let you cover this. You're gonna summarize it, I think, hopefully.
Yeah.
And file share shenanigans, because a lot of this goes way over my head.
Yeah, let's go through it here. So a few years back, Waybags and the team, they were using a collection of hard drives stuffed into a leftover workstation as an office shared drive. This drive had all sorts of stuff on it, from unfinished art assets to a collection of pictures of developers in a wind tunnel. We had it all. That's some interesting stuff in there. The inevitable day came, though, that they ran out of space on their disks. A decision was made to buy some new high-density drives and put them in a QNAP enclosure. This is basically a little computer with 4 mounted hard drive bays and some special software for file shares and management. They figured that it would be less hassle since it's designed to be used by normal people. It was supposed to make their lives easier, as it should be easy to use and set up for normal people. It even had a friendly little GUI with this little clippy guy, bottom right corner there. Ain't he cute?
Yep.
So this is pretty common. A lot of people need some either home storage for their home media, all their music and movies, or they want a file share for the office. And if you don't have an ops person who like sets up servers and hardware, it can be a little bit of a daunting task and very frustrating because files can get deleted and bad things happen. So they bought this. It's good to help them out, but they've got some shenanigans going on because after 3 months, the little guy died. It didn't power on. It was just dead. So, of course, they start the return process, but it's going to take about a month to get the replacement sorted, during which time they would be without access to their files. So they did what any reasonable capitalist would do, and they bought their way out of the problem, just buying another QNAP NAS to use while they waited. When the warranty replacement arrived, they would just use it as a backup target. A side note, they couldn't actually read their old data off of the old drives that they took out of the broken QNAP. The QNAP OS is Linux, but with a custom GUI on top, so you'd expect we could get our files by plugging them into another Linux machine. But no, QNAP have customized their Linux kernel in a way that makes it impossible to read the normal install. For those interested, they modified the LVM to add some more efficient forms of snapshotting, from what Waybags can tell at least. Yeah, so the shenanigans was always well with the world of large file storage and Moob software until one day disaster struck again. After a solid 14 months this time, the replacement NAS that they bought also died. At this point, they began to question their decisions. So ZFS comes to the rescue. I can't remember if it's Zebibyte or Zettabyte or something, file system. But it's a file system that is set up specifically to store huge amounts of files. It does a lot of really cool stuff, like if you plug 2 hard drives into your computer, it's going to say C drive and D drive. But with ZFS, you can kind of merge it all into one.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you some other sweet options, like really good backup handling, where you can just take snapshots that basically you can instantly roll back to, or near instant. It's pretty fast. So you can roll back if there's ever a disaster, and unlike some proprietary devices like QNAP NAS, there's nothing secret or hidden about it. There's no special modifications that you can't get access to yourself. So yeah, with their original setup, they just had a normal PC running the ZFS file system. A little redundant there. We decided to just return to this approach. The final lesson is that sometimes the buy the solution easier option is not actually easier at all. Sometimes it's best to invest the time and effort to do it right yourself. And then for the technically inclined people who aren't afraid of the command line, you should really check out ZFS. Despite some recent misinformed statements by highly influential figures, it's a really great file system with advanced features not really available to other production quality file systems. It's got stuff like snapshotting, checksumming, and live replication. And you should probably avoid the QNAP NASs. As far as that highly influential person making misinformed statements, Linus Torvalds, one of the guys, kind of the maker of Linux and one of the big guys involved in keeping Linux going, he made some comments about ZFS, basically saying no one should use it. And he didn't quite understand it fully. A lot of people have some really good uses for it, like Woob here has. And also, a lot of people kind of clipped them out of context a little bit. So some fun time for the techies there. Do you have any questions about that? Anything that I didn't make very clear?
I think you actually made it pretty understandable, honestly. Yeah,
Awesome.
like it, I kind of got the gist of it for sure.
Yeah, it is a little techy, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend a non-techie person to just be like, oh, I want a really big media file server at home, I'm going to use ZFS. You can follow a lot of tutorials and have it pretty much just work. But if you mess up a little bit, you may not know how to fix it, right? So for the people who are techies and are interested in it, definitely try setting up a little media server for yourself because it's great.
Yeah, definitely. Media servers can definitely come in handy, even for non-work related stuff.
Yep,
Movies,
everybody's got their digital movies
music.
now and tons of music, man. Because who wants to use, the Apple apps or just saving it all to your documents music section? You got to get a little fancier with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Gotta go overkill.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that does it. Good summarization on that. Glad they got things worked out, and hopefully the ZFS continues working for them. The login, the mini accounts, and Steam login thing's really nice. Hopefully they figure out a good way to bring people to their website now. And the main menu rework is really nice, much more intuitive. I really, really like it.
Yeah, I appreciate what they're doing here. This is a pretty good blog post today.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that's going to do it, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. Leave your thoughts below and on the forums and Reddit. And I think that'll do it. We will see you next time.
Catch you guys later.